shocked? I mean, really? Can anybody honestly say that they're shocked? I'm not. I'm not whatsoever. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. Phillies lose their ninth straight game at Citi Field. It's tied going into the bottom of the ninth. Johan Duran in there, the forced extra innings, allows 4 base hits. A lot of singles, loaded the bases with nobody out, did not record a single out in the ninth inning whatsoever, and Phillies lost the game. Phillies lost the game by a score of 6-5. I mean, what else do you expect? This team does not win in Citi Field. They just don't. They just don't win in Citi Field. I mean, it's weird because you guys probably know this when I say this a bunch when the Phillies do play the Mets. Every time they play the Mets, I get overly stressed. I get overly frustrated and all that stuff. Today was actually the first time that I wasn't, going full stress mode, going full panic mode throughout the entire thing. I was actually pretty calm, even though, because I guess I just expected what was going to happen. Because it just felt like it was too predictable. It felt way too predictable. Sean Manaea coming into this game has been terrible in like his past 4 or 5 starts. Obviously the Phillies were not going to touch him. It took until like the 5th inning or something like that, the 4th inning or something like that for them to touch him. And then the Mets go to the bullpen. Yeah, Bryce gets a 2 RBI hit, put the Phillies up 2-0. You still left the meat on the bones, and then instantly I knew the Mets were going to come right back and tie it because that's just the way that it is when the Phillies play the Mets in this ballpark. It's just what it is. Luzardo, first batter hit immediately, allows a bunch more base runners, has to get pulled from the game. He gets ejected from the game because he's barking at the umpire. And granted, yes, the umpire tonight was terrible. I'm not taking anything away from that. The umpire behind home plate for both sides was complete and utter garbage. Complete and utter garbage. Terrible. He was just not consistent whatsoever for both sides. Still, Luzardo didn't bear down in that situation. You force Ryan Kerkering to come in an impossible spot, even though at this point I'm not even surprised at this rate because that he allowed the runs to score, because that's what Kerkering has been doing for the past so many weeks, is allowing inherited runners to score. You're allowed to get guys out when you do come into impossible situations. You're allowed to limit the damage. You're allowed to only maybe allow 1 run, maybe 2 runs. You don't allow 5 runs. That's like you just don't allow that to happen. But Kerkering did allow that to happen, and the Kerkering stands will just like try to take the blame away from him because he came into an impossible spot. You're allowed to minimize the damage when you do allow runs to score. You know that, right? You're allowed to go up against Pete Alonso with the bases loaded and get him out, right? You're allowed to maybe allow 1 run, 2 runs, or something like that. You're allowed to minimize damage. You don't blow up as bad as you did. I'll give credit to Banks. I'll give credit to Strom. I'll give credit to Alvarado. Those are the only 3 guys from the bullpen that showed up tonight. Your top 3 in the lineup, still utter putrid. Kyle Schwarber has not had a hit since the Seattle Mariners series. He hasn't had a hit since that home run he had against the Mariners. He's been terrible. Out of the 3 main guys, he's been the worst. Between Turner, him, and Harper. Yeah, Harper has 3 hits tonight. He has 2 RBIs. Blah 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 blah. His at bat, his final 2 at bats, honestly, were really just terrible. Who was he? Who was his? What was his 4th at bat against? It was the sinker ball pitch Rogers. That inning just in general from Schwarber, Harper, and JT Realmuto was just pathetic. It was the 7th inning or something like that. Yeah, just bad, just completely bad. It was 2 pitches combined. Both Schwarber and Harper, both ground outs. Not good. Not good whatsoever. And then Schwarber and Harper's at bats against Edwin Diaz in the top of the 9th inning also just completely pathetic. They just went down way too easily. Schwarber just missing pitches every single point down the middle of the plate. I mean, it's like Schwarber's never seen 97, 98 mile an hour fastballs before. And granted, yes, he had the very long foul ball that he was very early on. But why can't you time up the fastballs from Edwin Diaz? That's just completely, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Then Bryce Harper at batted against Diaz, just pathetic. Yeah, that's basically it. That's basically it. Then the 9th inning with Duran. Yeah, you get the huge home run by Harrison Bader. That was huge. And Herr Bader also had the really bad throw from center field early in the game. I guess you could say he redeemed himself with the game-tying 2-run shot, and that was fun. Like, that was fun. Don't get me wrong. The Bader solo shot, the Bader 2-run shot was very fun. Tying the ball game up 5-5. You think finally this team has some life. Maybe they're actually going to do something. No, wasn't enough. Wasn't close to enough. Bryson Stott gets on second base, because they brought in Helsley. Helsley implodes like he has been for the Mets. Bader, obviously, with the 2-run shot. Stott gets on base. He eventually gets the second. No one drives him home. No one drives him home. Like, seriously. Like, what else do we expect? They don't hit with runners in scoring position. They just don't. They just completely don't. And it's funny too because before the game, they so they choose to DFA Joe Ross, which is the right decision. Which is the right decision to DFA Joe Ross, but they don't DFA Jordan Romano. They put him on the IL with a like middle finger like what was it, inflammation or something like that, something to do with his like index or middle finger on his throwing hand that he got yesterday. That is a fucking phantom IL stint if I ever, like, why are they so afraid to DFA this guy? Is Dave Dombrowski just doesn't want to admit that he was wrong? Does John Middleton just doesn't want to admit that they were wrong with that transaction of signing Jordan Romano because they paid him like what $10+ million or something like that or whatever it was? Like like why are you so afraid to DFA this guy? It is it's hilarious. It's so sad. It's so sad that you're so afraid to DFA this guy that you put him on an IL for 50, even though he's not going to be on the playoff roster. That's just, granted, I'm not even guaranteeing playoffs at this point. That's how down I am. That's how broken I am because that's what the way the Phillies are going right now. And granted, do I still think they make the playoffs? Most likely. But I'm so down on this franchise now that this series has just completely proven to me, even though it's been proven so many times in the past, this franchise completely proves to me that this team just doesn't have it. And they just never did. They don't have it. They don't have what it takes. They don't have a killer mentality. They don't know how to put a team down when they should be putting a team down. They're just bad. They're just so bad. It's not even funny. They're just so bad. So bad. You can't even describe it, how bad they are when they play in Citi Field. How bad they are. I freaked out yesterday because, you know, I just can't. I can't. I can only sit here and laugh. And laugh. Oh yeah, Bryce Harper didn't wear the fucking Mets gear, blah 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 blah. 3 singles. 3 singles. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Trey Turner, I'm a defender of you. Where the fuck are you at? Kyle Schwarber, you've been fucking putrid. You got Phillies fans in CBB chanting MVP every time you've been standing at the plate for the past couple of weeks. This is what you're giving them? Going 0 for almost 20 at this rate in your last so many games, especially in a huge series like this. It's pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. A guy that we were always hyping up to be an MVP type of guy. Where's our 40+ home run guy at? Meanwhile, you got Cal Raleigh over in the American League, like surpassing 50 and still continuing to hit home runs. Where's that power, Schwarber? Where's that power? Where's that power? Where's that power? It's insane. It's insane. JT's looks like he's lost a step offensively again. Just the entire team. Really, it's just like Bader. I'll give the break because he's basically the only guy in the lineup that had the huge at bat tonight. Like Bader, he went 3 for 4 with the 2 RBIs. He was one of the very few guys in your lineup that did show up, and he also had that huge game tying shot. Granted, he had the very terrible play in center field. It's amazing. It's amazing. 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position while the Mets go 5 for 10. It's too predictable, guys. It's too predictable. Jesus Luzardo, just not good. Just not good. It started from the very first inning. He managed to work out of that without allowing a run. It's just terrible. It's not good. Walked Soto, allowed a 2-out single to Alonso, walked Vientos, then he managed to strike out Nimmo to get out of the bases loaded jam. Yeah, the umpire was squeezing him a lot. He definitely was. You actually saw some fire to Luzardo in that first inning because he was getting kind of pissed. Bottom second inning, he had a 1-2-3 because he picked off somebody. Top of the third inning, Edmundo Sosa had a leadoff double. He did not come around the score. Bottom of the third, Luzardo had a 1-2-3 inning. Bottom of the fourth, Luzardo out there allowed a couple of base runners. Alonso with a single. Taylor, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with the Phillies pitchers. They're just hitting everybody with pitches at this rate. Scoreless fourth inning for Luzardo. Phillies get on that board in the top of the fifth. Bader with a leadoff single. Wilson with a fielder's choice. Turner with a single. Mets go to the bullpen. They bring in Gregory Soto. Both runners advance to second and third. Schwarber then walks. Harper singles to score 2 runs with the bases loaded. The 2-0 Phillies lead. JT then strikes out. Then you go to that bottom of the fifth. Gets up 0-2 in the count to Torrens. Hits him with a pitch. Lindor then with a bloop single to center field. Then Juan Soto gets a single. That scores a run. Makes it 2-1. Then you get that very terrible throw by Harrison Bader that goes to the backstop behind JT. And both runners advance bases, the first, the second, and third base. Marte then walks. Then they bring in Ryan Kerkeren. Second pitch to Alonso. He doubles into the gap, scores 2 runs. It's a 3-2 ball game. Then Vientos singles in a very long at bat. Then Nimmo hits a sacrifice fly. It's 5-2. It's crazy. It's crazy. Top of the sixth. Bohm with a leadoff single. Bader with a double. You have second and third. Once again, Bohm is the slowest person in the world because any other runner scores on that double by Bader. Sosa then an infield single, which scores the run, makes it 5-3, but then Weston Wilson grounds into a fielder's choice, which I still don't understand why they didn't pinch hit for him there. And then Trey Turner grounds into a fielder's choice on the first pitch. Top of the sixth inning, Tanner Banks, after hitting Francisco Lindor, he gets the next 3 guys out. Top of the third for the Phillies, pathetic inning whatsoever. 2 pitches combined to Harper and Schwarber, and then JT with a 5-pitch strikeout. Yeah, just really fun there. Matt Strahm strikes out the bottom of the 7th, strikes out the side, so good for him. He showed up. Top of the 8th inning, Castellanos with a walk, and then Bader had a very long at bat, 7 pitches, hits a home run off Helsley to tie the ball game up. That was fun. Then Bryson Stott pinch hits for Edmundo Sosa. He works a walk. Then Edwin Diaz comes into the game. Marsh fouls off a lot of pitches, but then ends up striking out on a pitch in the dirt. Trey Turner then strikes out. Ends the inning, keeps Stott stranded. Alvarado in the 8th. Allowed a 2-out single to Lindor, but then he struck out Juan Soto. Top of the 9th for the Phillies. Just pathetic at bats. Completely pathetic at bats. 4-pitch at bat to Schwarber, strikes out. 5-pitch at bat to Harper, he strikes out. And then 1-pitch ground out by JT to end the inning. And then here's the do-run inning. Marte, splitter, single, 2 pitches. Alonso, first pitch splitter, single. Beatty, 3-2 count, bloop single, that just hit it in no man's land. So 3 straight singles, and then Nimmo in a 2-0 count, singles, walks off the game. 4 straight singles against your elite closer, Johan Duran. It is insane. It is insane. Crazy. Crazy. Does this mean I don't trust Duran anymore? No, that probably isn't the case, but something definitely is very off with him. Something is definitely very off with him. I think Julian even pointed out here, like, his stuff is still like, he's still topping the velocity and all that stuff, but is there something to him getting drilled in the foot? Is there something to him taking that hit right off of the foot? Because he hasn't been the same since. Is there something to that? Maybe there is. I'm not entirely sure. Your lineup today, you had 11 hits. Trey Turner 1 for 5 with 3 strikeouts. Horrible. Kyle Schwarber 0 for 4 with walk and a strikeout. Horrible. Bryce Harper 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. I still don't call this a good game from Bryce Harper. All of them were singles. JT Realmuto 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. Horrible. Alec Bohm 2 for 4. I don't care. Nick Castellanos 0 for 3 with a walk, 2 strikeouts. Terrible. Harrison Bader, I would say you're the lone good at bat today for the Phillies, and Sosa, actually. Him and Sosa. 3 for 4 with Bader with a 2-run shot. Sosa 2 for 3 with an RBI. Those are the only 2 guys in the lineup that showed up. Bryson Stott's lone at bat, he walked. Weston Wilson went 0 for 3. Then Marsh went 0 for 1. Pitchers, Luzardo, 4 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts on 87 pitches. Classic. Kerkering, 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 earned run because a lot of those runs were charged to Luzardo because of inherited runners. 1 walk, no strikeouts, 27 pitches. Tanner Banks did his job. Got out of his inning. Matt Strahm struck out the side. He did his job. Alvarado, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. He did his job. Duran, 4 hits, 1 earned run on 12 pitches. And a blown, just got the loss. just insane, man. Just insane. It's crazy. Just crazy how bad they are. Phillies have lost 23 of 29 games at Citi Field. Phillies have blown leads in 7 of 9 straight losses in New York. They have been outscored 52-23 in those losses. Crazy. It's crazy how one team could be so bad in one ballpark. It's not even funny. Phillies are 3 for 19 with runners in scoring position in this series. The Mets are 16 for 29. Insane. 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 It is insane. I got nothing else for you guys. I really don't. I really don't. If you want me to scream, I just don't feel like screaming tonight. I just don't. I was defeated yesterday. And if you call that loser mentality, I don't fucking care. Go scratch. This Phillies team is not good enough. They were never good enough. And this series is just completely proving it. It's just completely proving it. They were never good enough. They were never, ever, ever good enough. Never good enough. Dave Dombrowski should be fired after this season. This team ain't going shit. Honest to God, I don't care if Kyle Schwarber walks in the offseason. He can go have his money elsewhere. It's proving from him he ain't a clutch player either. For as great as the season as he's having, he's going cold at the worst possible moment. Yeah, you're done. You've been done. You've been done. Mets are 5 games back now. Soon to be 4 games back after you get swept tomorrow. Yeah, sooner or later, this division is going to be taken over by the New York Mets because lifeless, worthless, gutless team. That's just what the Phillies are. Lifeless, worthless, gutless team. That is what the Phillies are. Team stinks. I don't know what you guys want me to do. And the only way that the Phillies get over this, and like just the Phillies franchise as a general, they get over not being able to win in Citi Field, not being able to get the Mets out of their head and all that stuff. The only way that happens, it's a completely different group of Phillies players. It's a completely different group. This group's never going to get over that. They're never going to get over that. The Mets have been in their heads for years. Like I said, I brought this up yesterday. Ever since 2022, when the Phillies blew that 7-1 lead in the top of the 9th inning back in Philadelphia, the Mets have been in their heads ever since. Ever since. Every time the Phillies play the Mets, they shit their pants. They completely shit their pants. Yeah, maybe they win a series against them every once in a while, but majority of the times they're either getting swept or they're losing the series against the Mets. That's just what the Phillies are with this team. They don't know how to put a team away when they should be doing it. They don't have a killer mentality. They never had a killer mentality. They proved that to you over the past couple of seasons in the postseason. This team ain't good enough. This team ain't championship material. They're just not. Now, will Durant bounce back? Probably. He'll probably bounce back eventually. When? I have no idea. I'm not saying Bryce Harper is a terrible player. I love Bryce Harper. It's just you're not showing up when we need you to. Same thing with Kyle Schwarber. I love Kyle Schwarber. Not showing up when we need you to. And a lot of the people that were probably trying to undermine the loss of Zach Wheeler with yesterday. Now, I put a lot of blame on Christopher Sanchez. I did. Because at this point, he has to be the ace. But then that conversation comes into question. Are we really just undermining how truly big of a loss Zach Wheeler is to this rotation? Because there really, truly is no replacing Zach Wheeler. There truly is nothing that replaces a Zach Wheeler. Just the truth. For as good as Christopher Sanchez has been this year, you can't replace Zach Wheeler. That's just fact at that point. I don't know what else you want me to tell you. Team isn't good enough. Team has never been good enough. They're a good regular season team, but they are. They're not built for the playoffs. Your chance to win the World Series was 2023. You failed. You failed. You failed. And you continue to fail. Now, will you still make the playoffs this year? Most likely. That's just how bad baseball is this year. Even if you do win tomorrow, it does nothing for me. Now, people will try to say, oh, at least it's still a 6-game lead in the division, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Maybe you do win tomorrow. Maybe the Mets go back to being the Mets over the course of the month. Because because this Mets team, they just own the Phillies. That's what this Mets team is. They own the Phillies. The Mets can easily, after this series, completely fall apart again, like they have been for a while. Or they can build a lot of momentum off of this and go on a huge run this month, like they did last year. How can I trust this Phillies team? Because say the Phillies in the playoffs, whether the Mets make the playoffs, whether the Phillies meet this Mets team again, you really expect the Phillies to beat the Mets in the playoffs? Fuck no. Fuck no. We are to the Braves what the Mets are to us what we were to the Braves. That's basically what it is. It's what it is. How many times we completely just embarrassed the Braves in 2022 and 2023 in the postseason? That's what the Mets are to us. That's what the Mets are to us. And we're never going to get over it until it's a completely different group of Phillies players. This group is never going to get over that. They're never going to get over that mentality. They're never going to get over the Mets being stuck in the back of their heads. Never going to get over the fact that they can't beat the Mets. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. It's never going to happen until years down the line when it's a completely different group of Phillies players. When it's not Bryce Harper, when it's not Schwarber, when it's not Turner and all that. Even it's a very long time at this point, so it might be eons at this rate. When it's just not this group. When it's not this group. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't even know if players. I know Rob spoke after the game. He probably didn't say anything. Obviously, it's Rob Thompson. And that's not me putting blame on Rob Thompson. No. I'm not putting blame on Rob Thompson because what else is Rob supposed to do? Rob is managing the card that he's dealt. You could say he doesn't have fire. Yeah, I'll say that's his flaw. That's one of his big flaws. He doesn't have fire at all. And here's a good tweet right here from Life of a Philly fan. 9th inning, same scenario. Tie game with the closers on the mound. 2, 3, 4 in the Phillies lineup, 3, 4, 5 in the Mets lineup. Phillies go down in order, Mets go 4 straight hits. Says it all. Completely says it all. I got nothing else for you guys. Taijuan Walker's on the mound to salvage the series. against the rookie that the Mets called up that's been dominant ever since he got called up. Yeah, do I expect much from tomorrow? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Optimistic people, keep trying to hold that optimism in as much as you can because I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it with this team. I don't know how you do it with this Phillies team. I tried. I completely tried. I just can't anymore. I just can't. You can call me negative. You can call me a loser. You can call me like you're just miserable and all that stuff. No, I just don't buy the bullshit. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I watch this Phillies team every single game. If you're trying to tell me with a straight face that this Phillies team is World Series championship material, I got news for you. Now, there's also a thing where I wouldn't be shocked if they won something in the World Series, even though I still think the chances are basically slim to none. They're most likely not going to do shit. I believe more they're going to do shit more than they can win a World Series. But I would wish for them to prove me wrong. I would love for them to prove me wrong. I don't like feeling like this. I do not like feeling like this. I don't like sounding like a jerk off. I don't like sounding like I'm miserable. I don't like being miserable. I don't like hate watching my baseball team. I want to love my baseball team. I want to have fun watching my baseball team every single game. I want to be amped up for first pitch every single night. I want to be after the final out of the game. I want to be like, damn, can't wait to get to 6:45 the next night so I can see Knowles on the mound, so I can see this team go out there and dominate the opposition. I haven't got that this year. Once. On a consistent basis. Yeah, have there been some spurts of that? Of course. But it's been more just annoyance. It's been more frustration the entire goddamn year. That's what it's like. That's what it's been more times than not consuming this baseball team. This year specifically. Realistically, going back to the halfway point of last season when they were playing like a 500 baseball team. It's been like that for a lot of this year. And go figure, this team's like 19, 18 games above 500, almost 20 games above 500. It's it's the way you lose. It's the way you find ways to lose. You know how the saying goes, good teams find ways to win, bad teams find ways to lose. That's what this Phillies team does. They find ways to lose constantly against this Mets team. It's what they do. The Mets are always going to be the ugly thing rearing in the back of their heads. The thing that they're afraid of. The thing that they can't get over. The thing that makes them go sleepless at night. The thing that gives them nightmares. The thing that they believe is hiding under the bed or hiding in their closet in the dark. They're that little monster that kids were afraid of hiding under the bed or in the closet. And they always have to go crying to the parents' room because they think there's a monster in the closet or a monster under the bed. That's what the Mets are to the Phillies. I know I just completely over-explained that, but you understand what I mean. As my cat's jumping into the window, so she'll probably make an appearance at any point. But that's what it is with this Phillies squad. You can say I sound like Frank the Tank, the guy that always screams and complains after every Mets loss. I don't think I go to that extent. I think I'm just being realistic. I'm just being realistic. I'm not being negative. I'm not being miserable, even though I do sound like it. It's just realistic. I think it's a realistic view. I think it's warranted. I think it's honest. Honest to just go out there and say, yeah, this team could still win a World Series. Yeah, I still believe in this team. Yeah, I have fun watching and consuming my baseball product every single night. I can't wait to watch Phillies every single night. No, I can't say that with a straight face because this team frustrates the ever living hell out of me. I would say at least 85% of games this season. There's been very few where I was like, wow, that was actually pretty fun. Majority of the times, it's very annoying. It's very annoying watching the way this team goes out and just handles himself every 9 innings. What it is. And I have no other way to describe it. It's not fun. Maybe it's a good thing the Eagles are coming back. I could actually watch a good team. not to say that the Phillies are a poorly ran franchise, a team that gets it, I guess you could say, a team that understands, a team that understands how to win, a team that understands how to fight through adversity, a team that just understands. They know what their problems are, they know what their flaws are, and then they do anything to fix those flaws. Just like Howie Roseman does every single offseason, which is what he's been doing in the past couple of days with some of the trades that he's been making, trying to clear up roster spots because he knows that he probably has to shore up some things in the secondary. He knows the cornerback 2 spot is very weak, is one of the biggest weaknesses of the defense. Has to shore up some things for the offensive line, shore up some things for the defense. Howie Roseman's going to go out there and make those moves. What does Dave Dombrowski and John Middleton do with the Phillies? They just twiddle their thumbs and have their thumbs stuck up the rear end because they think Jordan Romano is good enough. They think Max Kepler is good enough. They don't want to. They don't want to put sustainable product around their big contracts. They don't want to go out there and trade prospects for good players because so worried about 5 to 10 years down the line of putting a baseball team on the field. Telling you, man. Sniffing the bullshit from the ownership in the front office. Been doing that for a while here. It's not going to change. It's not going to change until they prove it to us. Yeah, Taijuan Walker on the mound to salvage the series. Even though that means absolutely jack shit to me. It just does. Against Nolan McLean, who has been very good in his 2 starts for the Mets. Very good. You want to call me miserable? You want to call me a loser? Go ahead. I don't fucking care. Want to tell me to stop complaining? Go ahead. I don't care. You can go scratch. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. How bad this team is. It is insane. So, I appreciate all of you guys here that are in the chat. We don't have any no, we actually do have a last minute voicemail. Last minute one from Zach. Do have one. Might as well get to that before we wrap it up. Don't want to do a disservice to them. Gotta get Zach's call in here. So let's do that. What you got for us, Zach?
Well, it's just an ugly baseball team through and through right now. You say what you want about the umpire tonight, and he was terrible. You know, basically the same thing happened tonight. Mets didn't fully blow it open, but I mean, like, you just can't beat that team. I don't know what it is, but that just shows you, man, the Phillies don't have enough. I mean, if you can't beat your biggest rival, who has been shitting the bed for the last, 2 months now? I mean, they've been awful. And you can't come to play at all. I mean, okay, I'll give them a little credit for fighting back tonight. They didn't get fucking blown out. But this is just as heartbreaking a loss because, I mean, you needed to at least get one more run there. When you tied it 5-5, you needed to at least get one, probably 2. I mean, you knew they lost at that point. They needed to take the lead there to even have a chance. And even then, who knows, Mets might come back knowing the way they play against us. And I don't know, this team is failing. And I think Zach Wheeler being lost puts much more onto this pitching staff, the starters and the bullpen. Of course it would. Nobody goes deep into games like him. You're really going to need Christopher Sanchez to bounce back his next time, but I don't know, this baseball team is just, they're atrocious, man. They can't come to play when it matters most, and what does that tell you when they get to October and the games are even more important? Because this has been the most important series of the season so far, and this is what they got to show for it. So, yeah, I'm going to put a lot of stock into this. This is Just thinking about getting tickets for when the Mets came to town. Hell no, ain't doing that now. All that for them to disappoint me and me here, the fucking Mets fans. So I'll let it go, but absolutely disappointed, pissed off. Peace.
You have every right to feel pissed off. It's funny too when I think it was during the game. It was like, so some of you guys do know that me and my cousin split season tickets this year for full game or for the full season, and a lot of the games we do put up for sale for stuff for like playoff tickets and all that crap. So we decided, because obviously, and people will scoff at this obviously because people hate when Phillies fans sell their tickets. We put up the entire Mets series for sale. That's at Citizens Bank Park, in the beginning of September, and one of those games sold during this game. So that was kind of funny timing. So, hey, if you want to buy some tickets to a Phillies game against the Mets, or if you're a Mets fan, you want to go down to CBP, you want to cheer on your Mets. I want to throw up even saying that. Use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Go buy my tickets. Go give me money. Oh man, that kind of killed me on the inside saying that. Honest to God, even though I'm laughing, it's like a got to put on a mask for that. But yeah. Zach, you have every right to be mad. All of you guys in the chat, unless you're a Mets fan, you have every right to be mad. You have every right to be pissed off, because that's what this team does. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Zach, Julian, Franco, Nathaniel, Daniel. I'm going through the chat right here. R. Seeker, Austin, Julian, all you guys. I appreciate all of you that were in the chat talking it up. All that stuff. We'll be back here tomorrow as always. Most likely after the Phillies get swept by this Mets team. And the division lead just keeps getting lower and lower and lower and lower. So, when that happens, we'll be back here to recap it as always. So, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It does me a great deal of service. Also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek.